Right now, what you don't realize is you are in the middle of a beautiful process, beautiful, well-needed conversation. About this culture that we love, this culture that we were birthed in, culture that we were blessed in. Now, clout over culture is something that's special to me. It took a lot of time to plan this out and to do it and to be able to say it. And I just want to thank Jesus. Since it is Sunday, we want to thank Jesus. Allah, whoever your high power is, thank him right now. Close your eyes and thank him right motherfucking now for being able to have ears, a tongue to speak, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like suns, we shine and we glisten. Right now, we're about to get into part 2 of clout over culture. Part 1. Part 1 was dope. I hope you would refer back to part 1. There we go. Yeah. Started. Wherever you are listening to this at, I appreciate you for listening. Whether you're catching this on time or you're catching it on a rerun, cool with me, don't matter. I'm not going to. I ain't one that's gonna chase you down. Do none of that foul shit. So, but I do want to start right here. I love hip hop. I really do. I love our culture. It don't matter what region. I just love it. And I've noticed over the years how sick some parts of our culture are. Now, I won't go as far as say that today is worse than any other era. I just think that we see it when we have technology. So we're privy to more information. Back then in the 90s, early 2000s, 90s, and on back, you kind of had to wait. Better yet, before the age of the internet, you kind of had to wait to read the newspaper or watch the news to get the information. Nowadays, content creators like myself and millions of others are the information. And that can be a slippery slope, as we will get into in a few minutes. But when it comes to hip hop, right, when it comes to the industry and the culture and the exploitation of the young brothers who participate off in this culture, I do want to take time out to say rest in peace to all good men who die young. A lot of good men are dying young off in the culture because of some rap shit or because of some foul shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me check my audio real quick before we get started. Make sure my audio sounds crispy. Make sure my audio sounds right. Make sure it sounds like it's supposed to be sounding on all platforms. Shout out to people on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Digital on these niggas, so we gotta keep this shit. Mute real quick. Just doing a sound check. Sound check time. Gotta go fix something real quick. Let me see something real quick. Let me see something real quick. If anybody out there can hear me, I about to say clap once, like I'm back in the classroom. Clap once. I'm trying to make sure this shit is crystal clear before I get into what I need to get into, because I need every single word to be heard. I think it was going in and out a little bit. Let me move the microphone a tad bit closer. See if that fixes the goddamn deal real quick. Let me see what's going on. I think we are all right. I think we are all right right now. So yeah, like I was saying, welcome to CLOUT over Culture Part 2. Go check out Part 1 on your time. This is the second part of a 3-part series. I will be summing this part up. I think in the middle of next week or next week, depending on when I'm done doing the rest of whatever the fuck I gotta get done. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of in the middle of excuse me, 2 or 3 things, but this is important to me because I waited a few days to do it. I actually recorded and then I scrapped it because I felt like it wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it wasn't what it needed to be, and I'm glad that I did that. And then of course we had the Mo 3 yellow bees and shit roll back into the forefront, and eyes on my city. Eyes on my city. If you don't know, I am from Dallas, Texas. You know what I'm saying? 75215, baby. You understand me? Right from South Dallas, Texas, sunny South Dallas. And you know, I love my city. I've never seen it in this way. I watch a lot of content that somewhat concerns me, and not just Dallas in particular, but everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I just see hip hop as a beautiful thing, you know, the culture of it. And I understand that hip hop was created to shine a light on our struggle. It's also made for a way out. But you know, over the years, I mean, it's still very young. I think we just had the 50th anniversary not too long ago. So hip hop is still very, very young. So but I don't like seeing us die from shit like this. I don't like seeing us die from anything. You know, it kind of seems like it's pushed in our algorithms more than anything else. I'm pretty sure, you know, everybody's dying. You know what I'm saying? I think humans, you know, they die every day, but we don't see everybody dying. I don't think we should see anybody die if it's on camera, to be honest. But the fact that when it's something to do with hip hop, since hip hop is the dominating culture of the world, of the universe, it ain't just the dominating culture of America. It's the world. You know, the whole world copies our lingo, how we dress, how we talk, how we walk, the music that we make. What's the young nigga name? I Show Speed was just in China, and people were coming up to him. The Chinese, young Chinese were coming up to him like, I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real nigga. And they kept saying, and he was like, you ain't no nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that is kind of lets you know like how powerful our culture is in a good and bad way. But I'm gonna start right here, man. Clout over culture part 2. You know, how content creators exploit hip hop and death for views. I'm gonna start with this, right? Hip hop has always been more than music. It's a culture, it's a movement, it's a voice for the unheard. But in the digital age, its tragedies are being turned into business opportunities by a new breed of opportunists, content creators who prioritize views over values. And the industry has always profited off of artists while they're alive, but now it seems like their death is just another way and another chance to cash in. So from YouTube commentators, you know, you got your Trap Lord Rosses, and you got your Adam 22s. Where's my charger? You got your DJ Academics, yeah, Charleston Whites, and 1090 Jakes, and excuse me, all those guys, right? I just noticed a nasty trend on both sides, right? Because I mean, I guess that's where the dilemma is with our culture, this little sub genre of culture. Who's to blame? When you listen to an artist who has enough wit, who has enough intelligence to, you know, sit in front and actually speak to some of these content creators, that's the main question. Like, who's the fuck? Like, is it the rappers to blame because they found a way to, you know, to make murder and sensationalize death in a good way, or is it the bloggers to blame? That's why I created this 3-part series, because I really want to have a conversation, or at least spark one, of not really who's to blame, but how can it get better? This is something that is always going to be a part of hip hop and part of music in general, in my opinion. I think people don't realize that a part of music is expressing yourself. You know, it ain't just all about partying and whatever. You got some people who want to party with the shit and they don't care about nothing but shaking ass, and that's cool. But the ones who try to get into it, you know, I saw myself the other day. I was at work and I was listening to Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was listening to the lyrics. I played it like twice, and I'll be lying to you if I say I can't draw parallels between what Queen was, you know what I'm saying, what the lyrics was on Bohemian Rhapsody versus, you know, your average drill song. It's still talking about murder. It's still talking about death. Although death is a very human thing, I kind of think that what's been going on lately is strange to me, you know. I'm probably one of the few content creators that kind of create with the conscience. I create with the purpose, especially if I'm touching on something that affects people, you know, in a personable way. You know, I think that's kind of what sets me apart from a lot of content creators, because I'm not chasing a view. I'm not chasing clicks. I'm not chasing to try to see who's the next dead rapper, to try to find a way to make some money off of them and then pretend like I'm really for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any content creators really, you know, once they get in that bag and, you know, they make this content about these human beings who lost their life. I don't see them shucking no ducats towards the family's way, especially after they've used the name, image, and likeness. And I don't think it's responsible. off in a way, you know. It's weird because I can kind of see both arguments on both sides of this. You know, I don't think it's exclusive to one side or the other, but I just think a lot of this shit is weird. A lot of this shit is weird, man. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna make sure I try my best to stick to my script. You know what I'm saying? I did have a script, so where was I? From YouTube commentators to Instagram bloggers and TikTok conspiracy theorists, the new form of exploitation has emerged. So whenever a rapper dies, whether through violence, through overdose, or illness, a feeding frenzy begins. The rush isn't to mourn or pay tribute or provide meaningful analysis, but instead it's a race to monetize the moment, generating engagement through shock value, misinformation, and dramatic speculation. And the sad reality is this, y'all. It's platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and even Facebook, and whatever the hell is out there. They encourage this behavior. This economy is an attention economy. I think you can put attention right up there with money for some people. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people would rather have 1 million views rather than $1 million. If they can get that, you know what I'm saying? It's a, you know, I ain't no scientist or nothing, but, you know, it's like a dopamine release, you know. For y'all other scholars out there, y'all can get into that synapses firing off and dopamine releases and shit like that. But I never respected the person who did anything for $1. I had a clip of a video that I posted the other day. And I can also remember a post from Lil Duval saying that if you do anything for $1, you'll suck a dick. And I truly believe that once you get to a point where you do anything for $1, you'll do anything for $1. That puts you in an awkward position of a hoe. It puts you in an awkward position as a fiend. You know what I'm saying? When you start doing this shit. Crazy thing about this is it's a weird ecosystem of this shit going on social media. People doing some of the worst shit. I can remember the what's buddy with tattoos on his face. Bunk gang. I remember the bunk gang. He was knocking off shoes off store shelves. Spondu and shit. You don't know what spondu is, you know, find somebody that's from the hood, they'll tell you what spondu or spondylate. You know what I'm saying? Nigga walk up to a random person, knock their whole funnel cake in the air. You know what I'm saying? Basically doing whatever for the goddamn $1. You see, he don't, you know, change his life. Hopefully, but somewhere off in there, he met the wrong nigga. He spondylate some pizza out of the nigga hand, then got on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Hit him with the 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shot that nigga. Hey, I'm just seeing a bunch of content creators putting their lives on the line for the sake of compelling content. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with random people. The other day, I saw Aiden Ross. That's another one too. I forgot to put him on the goddamn thumbnail. That's another one. He freaked out. You know what I'm saying? He freaked out. He's one of them guys that he does that semi-gay type shit. Like that time he sat on Ziz. Y'all know B-Lou and Ziz. Ziz was working out or something like that. I don't know what this was playing. It didn't look playing. And Ziz was on the bench press. And nigga sat on his lap. I'm surprised Ziz didn't put that nigga head through a wall. But you know what I'm saying? He just be saying a lot of zesty, you know, peculiar shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm closely watching all these, you know, the content creators. And I'm watching because they got teams. Everybody got a team. Excuse me, got some allergy problem. But anyway, everybody has a team. You don't see the team, but everybody has a production team. Constantine has a production team. Aiden Ross has a production team. Once you get to a certain status, you're going to have a production team. I didn't like the way they had. This is off subject. We're gonna get back to the subject, but I didn't like the way they had Constantine and I Show Speed doing that freaky shit off in the shower, taking a shower together. That was weird to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like certain shit like that. It's like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? It seems like a humiliation ritual to me. You know, and then you're showing these kids, and a lot of the audience is kids, so you're making them. Anyway, let's get back to it. Now, platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they encourage this behavior. You know, you're able to monetize certain shit. It's at a point now where if you don't have nothing that's going to push the limits on what is and what isn't, you probably won't get $1 out this shit. You know, better yet, you'll have to find ways. You have to Euro step this shit like I've had to. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a Euro step. You can't just go in and make a video and the video be dope and the people are like, yeah, that's what's up. You gotta have some drama into it, especially if you're looking like me. If you look like me, you gotta have some drama into it. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, that drama just feeds the algorithm. It's something about young black men losing their life on the streets that feeds the algorithm. All of a sudden, it starts to generate shit. You know what I'm saying? It starts to trickle down from the industry all the way down to us as a content creator. You feel what I'm saying? But that's the sad reality, is nowadays it is an attention economy, and tragedy is currency, and hip-hop has become one of the richest mines to extract from. I got videos set up. I got I got exhibit A, B, and C set up. What's this over here? But this music kind of throwing me out. We're gonna change the beat or something. Hold up. Like the altar call at church. Let's get it changed up a little bit. Let's get it changed up a little bit. Where is? Let's hold on. But yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, that's a little better. That shit got me wanting to go goddamn church. Hold up. Now, I do have points in here. You know, point number one is the digital vultures profiting off of pain. Now, it's always a rush to monetize death. And when an artist dies, you can kind of predict the sequence of events like clockwork at this point, because we've seen it so much. So breaking news, clickbait. The creators rush to be the first to post videos with exaggerated headlines like the truth about said rapper's death, or did so-and-so predict their own murder, you know? Also, recycle content. They take old interviews, repurpose them, and spin them into a conspiracy theory or narrative of impending dooms. Now, we've seen this, and we've seen it right now. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it right now with the new developments in the Mo3 case. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, my Instagram and my YouTube got flooded with some interviews that I've, you know what I'm saying, I've watched before, but it's been years since I watched them. And, you know, you start seeing the new videos mixed in with the old videos. And then you start seeing these, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should start seeing different narratives and different shit that gets pushed. You start seeing it kick back up. You know what I'm saying? Some of these same content creators disrespected these said people that they're blogging about a plethora of times up over the years, you know? And me being me, and probably some of y'all being y'all, You know, I'd be like, I wonder where the videos went where Buddy said, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, these over here. You know what I'm saying? You can't find them videos no more. You know, they done took them videos off, you know, where they were being kind of disrespectful to the family and things of that nature, you know. Really, really puzzles me, you know, because I'll be looking for them shits. I was like, wait a minute, he the same buddy that said, fuck Mo 3 and this and that and this and that. Let me go find the video. He the same one that said that Mo 3 is still alive. Bankroll Fresh is still alive. They in Cuba, some motherfucking where Tupac is in goddamn Cozumel, Mexico. Let me try to go find this shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me try to go find these videos. It's like you can't find them. Either they private them or they got them out of there. But I've seen some wild, disrespectful headlines, and it's all clickbait. You know, it's all clickbait, and it's all conspiracy speculation as well. You know, wild theories emerge linking the artist's death to, you know, the Illuminati or the secret enemies or staged events. Not saying that, you know, whatever is whatever, but I kind of think that sometimes shit can get a little stir crazy. It's kind of like I'm surprised at how many times content creators can talk about the same thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's like stepping on the work over and over again. The minute you do that, the first time you put it out, cool. You can't move on to something else. You kind of, I kind of see a lot of these content creators, how they kind of, I don't know what's the term for it, but they kind of just fillers. It's like fillers, right? They kind of have bullshit off in between certain shit. They kind of remix the same shit. You know, if shit dies down, they'll sit back and they evil alert eating hot pockets and shit, and they'll come up with another motherfucking wild theory. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit nobody was thinking of, you know, and they just add more fuel to the flame, you know. But at the end of it, in my opinion, that ain't what a lot of these content creators is doing. It's not about paying homage, you know. It's about dominating the search algorithm before the story loses momentum and trying to get all that money about you. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I will see these content creators doing. Boy, they gonna panhandle the fuck up at you. You know what I'm talking about? And especially in them YouTube streets. It's a panhandle on, it's a goddamn me panhandle on every corner. Off in the YouTube streets, off in the internet streets, whether you on YouTube or the Facebook, boy, they gonna say, hey, hit my cash app, hey, hit this, hit that. Now, by all means, you know, I do have mine up in the top right-hand corner. Feel free, but we ain't hurting for no shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not sitting, I'm not going to badger somebody into, hey, hit my shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hit my, you know what I'm saying? The fact is, we are running a business. Yeah, this is an additional lane of revenue, but I'll be damned if I just start begging for money online. I don't even, you know, that's just not what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I believe in if you put out good work, you'll get good shit for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need and I don't require that. And it pains me to see so many subscribers because at this point we are all subscribers to something, but it pains me to see content creators badger their subscribers for money, for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't put in no work. You ain't put in shit, but you got the audacity to ask somebody for motherfucking, for some money, some hard-earned money. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that church shit. No, wait a minute, bitch. We gonna lock the doors. Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? They gonna try to Marvin Sapp the fuck up at you. Hey, hold up. Don't leave the chat. Everybody, hey, we got this right here. We gotta hit this. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the biggest finesse moves, in my opinion, that I've seen in a long time. Now, One thing I would never do is hate on anybody for getting no money. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I will say is boy, some of you niggas is ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all subs, y'all get out there and y'all will crunch y'all pocketbook knowing goddamn well it's about to be the first, but you done gave $100 over here for what? You know what I'm saying? You paying for memberships for somebody who won't even give you no new content. They won't even create nothing new. You know what I'm saying? I can't even blame the content creator. I mean, they know that they ain't shit for that, but if you gonna pay for them, shit, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? If you don't demand more out of your favorite content creator, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You gonna, do what you want to. It's your money. But I just think this is a hell of a privilege to be compensated. Because I do believe that being a content creator is a privilege. Think about everything that goes into it. You gotta have the Wi-Fi. You gotta have the internet connection. You gotta pay the bill for that. Then you gotta have you gotta have the software for that. You gotta have a microphone, and then you gotta have the ability to get on here and speak. All of that is a privilege. So I don't play around with the privileges. I don't take them for granted about me getting on the microphone and saying something to people that they're going to listen to, because I'd be damned if I lead some people off in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? Then I wouldn't be doing myself or people who believe in me any motherfucking justice. You feel what I'm saying? Now, here's the hypocrisy of some content creators. Personally, one of my biggest issues is that many of these content creators, quote unquote, they didn't support the artists while they were alive. They wasn't promoting no music. They wasn't giving no lyrical breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? If you a real hip hop fan, you gonna give a lyrical breakdown. You was like, yeah, my buddy said this and that. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get one of them. And they also wasn't. They weren't breaking down any of their cultural contributions. But the moment that tragedy strikes, they become experts, often spreading misinformation off in the process, or what I like to call tragedy trapping. You know what I'm saying? They be tragedy trapping. That tragedy trapping is deep. It's deep. It's something that I can't bring myself to. It's difficult. It's difficult to see it. It's also difficult to not look at some of this shit. So like you just gotta go off in some of these chats, and you just gotta get involved and really do the science on some of this shit to really see what the fuck be really going on. You know what I'm saying? I do think, especially with hip hop, there's this weird true crime element that's into it, and true crime is by far the top genre when you look at podcasting. I listen to a lot of true crime shit. Everybody like, First 40, not everybody like First 48, but First 48 been popular. The Serial podcast stays in the top 5, if not number 1. Like Serial podcast, Crime Junkies, Crime and Sports, Small Town Murder is one I listen to. Just true crime. You know what I'm saying? Dateline, Snapped. You know what I'm saying? That has been a part of our content for a long time, and it always rules over everything, damn near, including sports. For some reason, it gets people to thinking, everybody likes to get their mind going. Everybody wants to be a Perry Mason. Goddamn me. Everybody want to be an old boy from In the Heat of the Night with the little mini fro. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody want to get their goddamn legal pad out, get their pen and pad out, and want to investigate. And by all means, I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind that. I think if you like that type of genre of shit, you should delve in it. But um, I think there is a way to handle certain things once people pass, and even before they pass. And lately, it's just been a weird. How can I say this? A weird subculture of we getting information live from the streets. I can remember a time when street individuals didn't even want to be by nothing that might record them. Not a camera, not a microphone. If it was somebody new, they're gonna look at you sideways, turn their head. Hey, who you know over here? Type shit. You know what I'm saying? Now they on podcasts giving details about so many things that go on off in the streets, and like anything that we do, it's gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna sell, and that's when these tragedy pimps or people who pimp the culture. That's when they come into the mix. That's when you think about the goddamn Adam 22s and how is he able to be in California and got these street niggas and these gangsters up on there saying everything, getting indicted and shit, going to jail. How did that happen? And he ain't even from the West Coast. He ain't even, he's from Massachusetts, a motherfucking word. But I don't think anybody could do that look like us. You know what I'm saying? When it's unfortunately, when it's a white face in this culture, I don't know what it's about. Some of y'all just bow down. Some of y'all just yes, I'm master them. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm gonna take you everything. And then when y'all get indicted and arrested, and y'all don't ever press them, but you quick to press another nigga that look like you off in your neighborhood or from across the street or something like that. You're pressing about everything, but let a white person walk home through it. You let them walk home through, say hi, tuck your motherfucking shirt in, pull your pants up, cuff your goddamn y'all. You know what I'm saying? You gonna I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about 1090 Jake putting up paperwork and you know what I'm saying, just shedding a spotlight on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it at some point, what validates you to do some shit like that? Like, and then you got paperwork and they say you have to attend it too. So I don't know. You can say the same thing about Charleston White. Some of the things that he says, he plays the fence of I'm gonna be disrespectful like the rappers, and then he plays the community activist shit, and it's kind of sits off in a weird space because the Vlads and shit like that. But who's to blame? Like, can you blame the content creators or what they do? They making millions of dollars off of us being stupid and telling what goes on off of these ghettos and streets across America. And you putting that shit on camera, and then the feds and the authorities are watching this shit just like us. And at this point, the authorities are fans too. The authorities are in these chat rooms just like everybody else is. The authorities is right there sitting next to you out from the chat room. You don't even motherfucking know it. You know what I'm saying? They right motherfucking there. Right there. You can find various videos of police forces actually talking about, this guy over here, he's the guy who watches all of social media. He watches the lives. He watches the, the social media activity from when some of you dumbasses get on there and be flashing your guns and get on your story and be trolling and doing all that shit. I've seen, people doing little drills online and all type of shit. They watching you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the what's the word for it? The dilemma for me personally, you know what I'm saying, is who is to blame? You know what I'm saying? Who is to blame? Who is really the blame? We can sit here as black people and point fingers at the opposition all we want. But if we giving them what they want, if we giving them what they need to fuel the industry, then I mean, I just truly believe you gotta start right at the source. At the same thing, if you got some young nigga coming up, he talking about killing people and doing all this and making murder and shit sound good, and they give you $1 million and you take your $1 million and you provide a different way for your family, do you really think that's gonna stop? So this is a never ending cycle, in my opinion. And that's where I'm sitting with it. Even as I make this, even as I put these guys up on the thumbnail, that's where I sit with them. We're gonna get to those guys, a few of them. But if it wasn't for some of these guys, it wouldn't be some of the lower tier content creators that do the same thing. And actually, they are worse with it, because when you in that top tier, you got more eyes on you. Some of y'all down in these lower tiers, y'all be saying even wilder shit than they be saying. And some of y'all don't get out here and be involved in the community. You just sit behind your motherfucking computer with your motherfucking hot pockets of ramen noodles, or you goddamn me, what the hell y'all else be eating? Snack cakes and whatever the fuck you be eating. Fried bologna sandwiches and shit like that. Sit behind you and you just look at the internet all day, and you just have the access to be on the internet all day. You know what I'm saying? You ain't out doing nothing with your fucking life. You're not trying to make some, it's like you're not out trying to be a regular human being. You really being you really a peasant with media presence. Shout out to Currency. I stole that from him. A peasant with media presence. And now we gotta sit and wait on Casanet to critique a motherfucking album. Who the fuck made this nigga the source? Anyway, let's get back on topic. Let's stay right there. I can get off on a tangent, but we're gonna talk about that later on at a later date. Anyway, there is a difference, a big difference between journalism and exploitation, in my opinion. Real hip hop journalists treat these moments with care. They fact check the stories, and they respect the artist's legacy. But the digital vultures, they don't really care about the music. They care about the engagement, right? I didn't think we'd get to a time like I really miss Double XL, the source. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was people who, yeah, every once in a while they'll, whatever, but it was real journalism by real journalists. And what's the one that was in the South? The Ozone and shit like that. Like, I miss those times. Like, I used to go and say, but my hard-earned money to go buy a Double XL to see who got 5 mics in the source and see what's going on in the Ozone magazine and see and just reading about, you know what I'm saying? Like, those days, unfortunately, are gone. And we left with you motherfuckers, unfortunately. And we left with y'all to get the newest and hottest, news on the goddamn press of hip hop. We gotta click your goddamn video that goddamn, oh my God, bro. Like, we've really fallen, like, in every level of hip hop. It's really been some bullshit lately. Like, we don't have that no more. Like, we don't have journalism no more in hip hop. Like, we don't have, we do have some of the old heads. Shout out to all the old heads that are out there with their podcasts and radio shows. They are scattered amongst the bullshit. But if you look for them, they are out here. So if I want some real hip hop breakdown type shit, I'm not gonna go to anybody with a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go to the old heads. I'm gonna go to the Sways and the Beehives and the Big Boys and so on and so forth. People who are of the culture, people who are of the cloth, and have the the cachet to have these conversations with care. Most recently, shout out to Loon and It's Up There podcast. I listen to that a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? The way he details, like, I haven't heard, it ain't too many podcasts that deal with the culture that get detailed, and the way that he uses his connections with the industry to actually get down to the bottom and put some motherfucking science to this shit. And he ain't just out there clout chasing. Also, shout out to my guy, Big Ant, urban politician. The way that he breaks down hip hop in the way is very respectful, and he gets to it. You know what I'm saying? So there are, and it's a few of them, that are out there. There are people who are out here doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Like handling this shit, our culture, very, very well. You know what I'm saying? And going forward. Those are some of the guys that I listen to when I need, when I'm looking for what's going on, or I have a question, and maybe one of those guys have already answered it for me, or they might, inspire me to make a video, or, you know what I'm saying, do shit like that. I listen to guys like that. I don't listen to I don't listen to DJ Academics. He get drunk. He's a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that off. Let's get that shit off the top. He's different, and we'll get into some of the troubles that he's gotten in, and also we'll get into some conversations. I had to Euro step this shit because I know the copywriters, or I am copywriting, so hopefully they don't copyright some of these videos I will play, and if so, fuck it. It is what it is. But the biggest enabler of the exploitation isn't just the content creators, right? It's the platforms that reward them. It's the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the TikToks, and the Facebooks. They are all designed to prioritize engagement, and nothing drives engagement like controversy, death, and conspiracy. Now, I created a little chart. I gotta put I drew one out. I ain't gonna put the raw drawing up there because I ain't that good of an artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of an abstract type of guy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make it in digital form. But I did create like an ecosystem type. You know what I'm saying? I got to the, hey man, I'm a scholar with this shit. Don't worry about it. I got you. It will be out soon. But here's how the exploitation cycle works. Number one, the rapper dies. Okay? Number one, the rapper dies. Do I need to put up? I'm not going to put that up. Anyway, let's get some. Number one, the rapper dies. Number two, content creators rush to create sensationalist videos. All right, that's number two. Content creators rush to create sensationalist videos. Number three, YouTube's algorithm detects a surge in searches. All of a sudden, I have Mo3 if you have the mobile YouTube app at the top bar, it's like little blocks of what's going on. And I haven't looked up Mo3 anything, but because of probably my region where I'm at, and all the other data that they selling and all that bullshit, they figure like, okay, yeah, this is what he wants to see. And I be looking at some of this shit. I'm looking at, so, a part of the algo is us and what we look at, what we search. Because I just want to see what's going on, what's the developments. Sometimes my true crime brain be tweaking off a little bit. So shit like that. Now, number four is the most clicked videos. Often the most sensationalized videos get promoted. All of a sudden you start seeing videos that you ain't seen in a long time, or that you ain't never seen. You start seeing niggas online, they got paperwork, they got multiple views. You're like, how the fuck they get that? You know what I'm saying? They got news that you may or may not be able to use. You understand? And number five, the cycle repeats, ensuring that misinformation spreads further than the truth. All right, so that's number one. Number one is a rapidize. You get your goddamn pen and pad out. You thought you just come here to listen. Get your motherfucking pens and papers out. God damn it. Number one, a rapidize. Number two, content creators rush to create sensationalist videos. Number three, YouTube's algorithm detects a surge in searches. Number four, the most clicked videos, often the most sensationalized ones, get promoted. And number five, the cycle repeats itself, ensuring that misinformation spreads further than the truth. So the more clicks, comments, and shares, the more the algorithm pushes the content forward. And I'm going to go deeper into the algorithm. I'm still doing my research on what even the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to what even the fuck that is in the distance. But that pushes the content forward, you know. That's why you've seen like an uptick of so many conspiracies, videos that are more focused on conspiracies more than facts, and drama more than facts. You know, they hook the audience into an emotional reaction, and it keeps them engaged for longer periods. You know, it's kind of like the reason why, you know, me personally, I just got done watching the 2 or 3 documentaries last night on Netflix. John Benet Ramsey and some other shit. You know what I'm saying? So that keeps us in, and they be having that music off in the background that sound like this. Hold up. Cause we got some of that music though. Hold up. It sound like this. That's how they get you. Now right now, look down at your soul. Yeah, got you right there. Some of that music. Oh yeah. But it be darker than that though. You know what I'm saying? Like I done heard some shit that sound like, you know, that should be sounding like out there the boogeyman coming around the corner. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, back to the normal shit. Yeah. They create the scene for you to be, you know, what's the word? I hope I say this right. Enthralled off in this shit. Like, ooh, you thought you knew who the killer was, but you didn't know who the killer was because the killer was right in front of your face the whole time. They just got you. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, you hours in to first 4 there. You don't watch one episode and it was night, you know, it was nighttime outside. Now you don't watch 4 or 5 of them. It's goddamn time to go to work. And you're like, oh shit, let me get my shit. You know what I'm saying? You just stuck. You stuck right there. They got your ass. They got your ass. And they get all of us. I ain't know it's set to the motherfucking rule. Yeah, they be getting me with the documentaries. I really be watching them. Because I be wanting to see. You know what I'm saying? Like a part of me be really wanting to see. I do think the good part of it is sometimes you can kind of give more insight into what's going on in certain places and shit. The fucked up part is that it might ignite more violence. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody want to get showed up. The audacity of you showing how the 1, 2, 3 gang that they done lost 4 members, and the ABC gang done lost 2 members. They don't like that, so they gonna try to do what the young nigga call up the score. Yeah, they got scoreboards. You know. Recently, I stumbled upon some more Dallas centric type of, you know, weird shit that I'm trying to figure out who's behind this page, and we'll find out some Dallas scoreboard, you know, sensationalizing the you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, it's really going on. Dallas drill. I'm like, who is behind them? And then for the first time, I heard the Dallas drill voice, but he had a voice box on, like when they investigating a victim that don't want to be known. It was on The Valley, one of them curly haired white boys that be hanging out in the hood, niggas be giving passes to, and they be showing their guns, not knowing they fucking themselves off. one of them, I think it was like Taboo Room or something like that. They called the Dallas drill. He was out in Dallas. It's like, yeah, man, I'm in Dallas, man. You know, where should I go? And dude, like, yeah, you should go to the. I'm like, oh, he got a voice. Got a voice. I gotta find out who he is. I gotta find out. Maybe I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? We gotta. I don't know about y'all, man. I gotta find out who are behind some of these pages. Some of these pages that have no face. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like shit. If you really from the city, if you really from Dallas, or you know what I'm saying, if you really ain't scared, like you know, if the only reason I would see somebody really hiding their face and hiding who they really are behind these pages like that is that you know that you on some bullshit. Now, is it for safety? Yeah, I can dig it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can dig it. But at the same time, you know, I ain't never heard from nothing unless I felt like, oh, yeah, I fucked up. I probably shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know, I can put my face on what I create because it's what I created. You know what I'm saying? I just see that as weird, in my opinion. It might not be weird to y'all, but it might be, you know, I don't know. However y'all look at it, y'all let me know. I just think sometimes it's kind of weird for people to be hiding who they really are. Like, ain't nobody looking for you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looking for you. You off in the corner of your room, musty as hell, talking about this is what's going on, the real street shit. You in the corner of your room, musty as fuck. You ain't made it to the point where you gotta be shook up about, oh, they're looking for me and they might get me when I go to the grocery store. No, go to the grocery store, get that chicken and make that weak ass chicken you be making. You'll be all right. Nobody looking for you yet. You know what I'm saying? But there is times where the streets meet the digitals. I know, not the digitals, but the motherfucking where the streets meet the people who behind these pages. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that off in a minute. Beef is big business. And in hip hop, conflict has always existed. I touched on this in part 1. You know, beef is big business. Content creators are taking street beefs and turning them into online entertainment, though. And sometimes people who are within these street beefs are also turning this into online entertainment. And what that does is that blurs the lines and it makes the content creators feel like, say, shit, they putting their shit online. He over here trolling him because he done knocked his partner out and pistol whipped him and, you know, stripped him naked and did some wild whatever the fuck shit. Why can't I? I feel like that's where they kind of go with it. You know what I'm saying? And they break down diss tracks and analyze who's winning the war. Like I told you about that scoreboard shit. You know what I'm saying? Who's winning? Who's up on the scoreboard of young men losing their lives? You know, I think sometimes they forget that these are human beings. You know what I'm saying? These are human beings. Some creators, they publicly speculate about ongoing beefs and they misrepresent the facts. You know, they also encourage retaliation by creating narratives about who's up and who's down. And they also mock the dead with memes and disrespectful commentary. So I kind of think y'all really forget what commentary is. Like during a football game, during a basketball game, people who are commentating, they commentate the game. They don't choose a side. They're not on either side of either team. They just commentating the game. Oh, when something exciting happen, they're going to get excited for either one. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's some commentating from the respective teams, which does happen. You know, if I'm on a Cowboys broadcast, I expect to hear, you know, Cowboys centric shit and get hyped when I hear the Cowboys shit. And then when the goddamn whoever else playing the Cowboys score a touchdown or do something fly, do something cool, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. But for the most part, the major national, that's more on a regional level. But on a national level, when you see these games, NFL games, I'm going to watch some football later on, UFL, college football, whatever. They're right down the line with, and they're just commentating the game. I think a lot of y'all get too caught up in the motherfucking who's winning and who's not winning. And you might have previous, you might be a conflict of interest because of your past or what you've, you know, lived in your past life you live. You might know, you might be privy to more information than the average person. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of have to Euro step and make a different lane or kind of see shit a different way. You can't just say this because I can't, you know what I'm saying? I know these people over here. I can't quite, you know what I'm saying? I can't quite do that again to that because, you know, just being a human, that little person off in your body, like, you might not want to, you know what I'm saying? You might get a phone call, you know what I'm saying? So people who tread that line of blogging and getting information and shit like that, you know, more power to y'all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about that shit because I, you know, whatever. But for the sake of my culture, I do care about where this is going, not just the music, but just in a whole, like the music, the journalism about it. Like, where are we going? Where are we going with all this shit? Like, where is the end game with all this shit? You know what I'm saying? And whenever a rapper dies due to violence, you know, these same creators, they act shocked, even though they might have created content that contributed to the tension, you know? While the beef is going on, everybody's excited. Yeah, diss him. Yeah, diss that nigga. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, diss him. Yeah, get on their ass. Yeah. And then as soon as somebody dies, it's, oh, man. Rest in peace, Lil 123, man. Lil 123 ain't even have to do that, man. Man, they could have just boxed it out, man. They could have just, they could have just, you know what I'm saying? That shit right there is always, it's not funny to me, but it's strange to me, just the cycle of that, because we've seen it so much while these beefs are going on. It ain't too many content creators that are trying to de-escalate the beef. You know what I'm saying? Because they getting paid from it. They getting turned up from it. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody dies, it's like, oh man, rest in peace, Lil 123, man. Lil 123 was a solid guy, even though, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's why I say, like, what is the meaning for all this shit? Why is all this shit being pushed to the forefront? You know what I'm saying? Like why are we seeing, like, I don't know how many times, like, I ain't gonna lie. Me personally, maybe some of y'all don't come from poverty-stricken neighborhoods. I grew up in a neighborhood that was 5 to 8 to 10% below the poverty line. So definitely gonna see some wild shit. Definitely gonna see some dirty drug needles on the ground when you walk to school, dirty condoms. You're gonna see fiends. You're gonna see prostitutes pimping. You know what I'm talking about? Just a lot of shit that a young child shouldn't be able to see. A lot of shit that a child shouldn't be able to expose to. I've seen a dead body before. I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. Me and my cousin, Jariah, playing basketball at Opportunity Park. And if you from Dallas or you from South Dallas, you know where Opportunity Park is. Basketball court, and behind the basketball court it's a creek, and we were playing on the it's a full court, and on the opposite ends it's 2 half courts. We were playing on the half court by the creek. You know what I'm saying? And by playing half court by the creek in Opportunity Park, your shot had to be crispy. around them parts because you don't want your ball to roll off to a dirty ass creek, and God knows what is off in there. Then you gotta get some problems, but that's what happened. Ball rolled into the creek. Went to go get the ball and body right there in the water, just laying there, stank. You know what I'm saying? Fucked us up. Didn't think nothing of it because where we were out, but still to this day, we're in our 30s and we still, hey, bro, you remember that motherfucker? Bro, I remember that body we seen back. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a burned image in our head because that's a human. You know what I'm saying? That's a human right there. A whole human being laying right there dead. Somebody father, somebody brother. You know what I'm saying? So, shit like that shouldn't, you know, a child shouldn't be exposed to that. But unfortunately, we're exposed to it. Unfortunately, we're exposed to that type of shit. And it's not till we get out those environments that we realize how fucked up, you know, or what type of number they really did to us growing up in those type of environment. So a lot of this death and shit, we kind of, you know, just crime in general, you know, we kind of desensitized to a lot of this shit that we've seen in our whole lives. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact, like, you know, where I lived at was very active. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a crux of a main street in South Dallas. And so I seen a lot I shouldn't see. I used to wake up middle of the night, look out my window and see pimps, tricks. You know what I'm saying? I seen a woman get the dog shit beat out of her for not having that money on time. You know what I'm talking about? I done seen a lot of shit I shouldn't see. I've seen, well, not seen, but I mean, I've seen shootouts too, but I've had that witness of, you know, you just sleep in your bed or you playing the game at night and the shots rang out. You know what you gotta do? You gotta hit the flow. You gotta hit the flow. Shots rang out. You gotta hit the motherfucking flow. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say, man, I can go about an hour of what I've seen. You know what I'm saying? But those are things that unfortunately just gotten used to. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of fucks up your mind. And I'm just privileged to I'm privileged to be able to do what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks didn't make it out those areas. You don't even have to be involved in them type of areas. Like, how many times have we heard a story about a bullet flying through a wall and hitting a kid? A bullet flying through the wall and hitting somebody. You know what I'm saying? So by the grace of God, you know, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? But there is a new, get back on topic. There is a new horrifying trend that I also have, that we as a community, not just me, but as we've seen these things. We've seen the trend of filming tragedies, of every disturbing trend of filming tragedies. And when an artist is shot, you know, nobody help. They just record. And we just saw this with the little Ronnie. Get money, little Ronnie and his little baby girl. Rest in peace to those, you know, it's fucked up. But there was a woman who was there that had footage of, hold on. Excuse me. That had footage of little mama and her body laying across, you know, and running, his body laying across, you know what I'm saying? Zooming in on and zooming out. Bitch, call the police. You know what I'm talking about? Or put your motherfucking phone down and administer some relief or something. You feel what I'm saying? But it's shit like that kind of fucks me up, because even, I want to say it was a few months ago, even outside of the hip hop. I know we keeping this on hip hop right now, but even outside of that, it was a lady that was burning. She was getting burnt alive on a subway, and I think it was in New York City. She was getting burnt alive. Nobody came and even splashed a little water bottle on her. Nobody looking for a fire extinguisher. Nobody called nothing. Nobody say nothing. They ain't, they sat there with their phones out and watched that lady burn. It's that type shit. You know what I'm saying? When something happens around me, my first instinct is not to motherfucking grab my phone and put it up in the air and go, "Oh, what the fuck going on? Oh, I'm screaming." It's to get low and get the fuck up out of there. I don't give a fuck about no videos. I ain't trying to make no video up out of there. If you done been through enough type shit, you done been around some people getting shot, or been chilling somewhere and people getting shot at, or something happen, or like even the fights. You're not running to no fights, and you might get snuck, might get slid on. Put your goddamn camera out. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you don't want to involve yourself in at all. But that's what it is now, for the sake of putting this shit on the internet. And I guess what, you going viral, or you getting a video of this shit. I've also noticed that, you might get some videos of some shit, and then I think people try to sell them shits to news, like Tim's. I don't know how all that shit works, but I just know it is some diehard tragedy pimps out there that's going to try to get that footage and sell that shit and put a price on that shit and sell that shit to TMZ, or sell that shit to any one of these bloggers, or just sell it just to have, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that part fucks with me, because it's like, that's not human. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, you can't even have respect not only for them, but for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Before yourself, to not do that shit. And then once they find out what the fuck you are, who the fuck you are, now you took all the photos off your Instagram. Nah, don't be scared. Nah, nigga, you want to be the motherfucking first on the goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Nah, don't run. I mean, it's not funny, but I was looking at it like, nah, don't run. Don't run now. You want to be there when so-and-so shot so-and-so. You got faces? No. Now we're going to need you to come on in and, yeah, come on in and show us that video. Or no, don't, shit like that. But, instead of calling for aid, they pull out their phone. And, instead of showing respect, they chase viral clout. Instead of protecting dignity, they turn death into content. And this behavior, it also reflects a disturbing reality that people value views over humanity. And with hip hop, it's always had journalists and commentators who tell real stories. But this new fleet, this new flock, this new generation of content creators, many of them, number one, they're not from the culture. All right? They don't respect the history. They don't respect the culture. They don't respect the area. They just look at it like, oh, this is cool. Crime going over here, guys. Let's go over here and see what the fuck we can go. You know what I'm saying? All some strange shit. They don't really understand the music. They don't understand the pain behind it. They're basically just tourists profiting from pain. That's what I see with this new type of this content creation going on right now, with the whole some of these guys, we're going to go into the murder capital of America. We're going to go into these hoods and we're going to show these young niggas faces and show their guns and have them rap a few lyrics and bars, about killing other people so they can really see the faces of the, so the authorities can really see what's going on. The authorities really want to watch. They really be watching y'all when y'all be going off from these hoods. And that's why I advise. That's why I got to figure out. It really ain't no OGs or no whatever or people with some brains, because if you ain't doing no music, even if you are doing music, I don't want to take y'all to my neighborhood. Even though I ain't doing no street shit, I'm not taking you to my neighborhood unless it got something to do with some art or some shit like that. Like, how beautiful this. I'm not gonna take it to no neighborhoods just so my partners can incriminate themselves. That's what they be doing. Incriminating themselves, showing out their guns, showing their faces, showing off where they, they be asking them questions. Where are we at right now? Oh, we on motherfucking ABC block, nigga. And what goes on the ABC block? Shit, a whole lot of money. You know what I'm talking about? A whole lot of money. You know what I'm talking about? A whole lot of, we be out here smacking shit. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, out here smacking shit. What do you mean by smacking shit? I mean, if you come around here playing, you get smacked. It's the same template for all this shit. And they be, you know what I'm saying? And I look at that shit like, bro, you just held up the biggest gun. You know what I'm saying? Nigga held up the biggest gun. Nigga held up some shit on Call of Duty. It got your face. Now they know who you are, where you're from. You don't show them the block. Like, you ain't just right through the neighborhood. You don't actually, this street right here is where the money get made. Yeah, we swinging doors around there, bitch, man. We swinging doors off over here in these projects. We really getting it in, man. Now, if you come over here, you're getting shot. Oh, yeah. Police be over there in no time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. That's where we, it's like an alley-oop to the authority. You just filleting this shit now. You ain't gonna make them work for it. Do their job. They just watch TV, watch YouTube, and watch you niggas be stupid and say, yeah, well, tomorrow we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to the ABC block, because they said that's where they getting millions of dollars at. Look at what happened in South Dallas when your guy that came through and made the whole block hot, made the whole South Dallas hot, made the whole Four Deuce hot. You know what I'm saying? Now they're running raids, big monster trucks off in the neighborhood, running over shit, knocking shit over, tearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. Could have found a different spot to do that at. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all could have went downtown and had a celebration. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to go out on the block. Yeah, we on the block. We done. You know what I'm saying? And that's also the dangerous part about that shit is like, we don't, like, we get so deep into the storytelling. Like, we done told them everything. They don't even need to work. Back in the day, they used to have to work. They used to have a stakeout. I'm gonna go over here and, you know what I'm saying? They don't even have to do none of that shit no more. They just listen to y'all niggas say, yeah, we over here and getting money on this block. Yeah, I done peeled out. I got a trap over here. Yeah. Did this? Yeah. Put a little beat behind it. That shit gonna slap. Something's that shit gonna go hard. That little beat, little producer tag on the beat, he's gonna get you, gonna turn up like, ooh, this shit go hard, boy. Hell yeah, they from the streets. Hell yeah, we getting to it. Yeah, Law's be over there tomorrow. They'll be over there next week. They'll be over there soon. But and when you get on this YouTube and you start seeing these content creators and they really involved with this shit, they know what I'm saying. That's the thing. They're gonna ask you, where you at? Just watch one. Where are we right now? What is this block known for? What's your name? What are you known for? And if they're a rapper, the rappers, they don't think nothing of it. They just think, wow, this is some exposure, which it is, but at what cost? You don't rap your fresh 16. You just wrote that shit last night because all boys coming to your neighborhood now. We don't watch the whole 30 minutes of the documentary. Now they know where you selling drugs at, how you selling drugs, who you sell drugs with, who over there, the money block, the money lane, yeah, everything. They'll be over there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? While that tourist content creator he's really being a tourist, he profiting from pain, he'll be back safe where he from. He'll be back safe. He'll get his little revenue from YouTube or with Instagram or Twitter. He'll be back safe, chilling, trying to find the next place to go tour and put some niggas on the motherfucking big boy. You know that big ass boy you used to see off the NYPD Blue or the Shield or any police show, that big ass board where they put the thumbtack that made out of that court, they gonna put your name and put your picture right, him right here. Yeah, they playing this shit out. They don't even have to work hard no more because y'all niggas are just telling everything, you know. So I don't know, but I don't know. It's kind of depressing when you think about it way too much. It's like y'all ain't even. I never knocked nobody hustle, but I mean, what the fuck you gonna say when they pull, you get locked up and they pull your episode up on so-and-so YouTube page and they be like, is that you right there? Fuck you gonna say? No, it ain't me. You nigga, that is you. Same tattoo on your motherfucking neck. We see you. You just told everybody what you be doing and you locked up. Now you sitting here looking goofy, looking stupid. Yeah. But anyway, the real ones versus the opportunists, you know. The real ones, they interview the up and coming artists, they break down their lyrics and highlight the positive sides of hip hop. Don't get it twisted. I'm of the culture, I'm of the cloth. And I understand that, you know, in hip hop there is a way out, especially if you're growing up, you know, in these neighborhoods. There, you know, it is a way out. You know what I'm saying? It really is. So if you can find a way to put some art to it, please do. You know what I'm saying? If you can find some way to do what you need to do and stay safe and keep you and your family safe, please do. Don't crash out. Don't be on no crash out shit. You know what I'm saying? But the opportunities on the other hand, where was I? Real ones versus the opportunities. Okay. The opportunist only shows up when someone dies, pushing conspiracies and negativity for clicks. And I guess the question is how do we take the narrative back, right? How do us as fans, us as content creators off in the space, how do we take those narratives back? Before we get to that, let's watch these videos. Excuse me. Shit. Allergies. Excuse me. Let's watch these videos that I do have up. The first one, you know, which is going to be Exhibit A. We got 4 exhibits we're going to show. We're going to get right to it and get right back, and we're going to close the shit on out. In the meantime, in between time, let me get this shit kicked up right here. We all know about DJ Act a Motherfucking Fool. You know what I'm talking about? This is the time where, and shout out to Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa and DJ Academics. I want to say this is the first time where we've seen, it happened like 7.5 years ago, where we've seen somebody really just tell DJ Academics to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And really fine-toothed and fine-combed the realities of the shit that DJ Academics be really doing, or at least how he got popping, how he got his little fame and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get right into it right here.
I mean, I've always said, I felt like, and since the XXL cover just came out recently, the new one, I always felt like the class you were on, 2014, was probably the last class that we look at and we could, well, I mean, it's a little bit closer to the other ones, but where we could definitely say this was a standout year. I mean, what do you think about the classes that followed you guys and the one that just like was announced? Because I heard you rap about it, you called it the slow class. I'm not sure if we were talking about this year, but why?
I had actually did that verse before they did the
I
CLOUT.
told you he was gonna have a good one for that one. Yeah, he got you. Oh, you let him get you, man. Get that nigga.
You know, I feel like it's been pretty lackluster, and that's kind of like what is.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is missing? Because I also like maybe from last year you've called out Yachty before. Okay.
You know, just bars. Some bars was missing. There was 0 bars.
You want to move on to? You're down to do some news.
I don't care enough about the cover to discuss it further.
Yeah. All right.
All right, and we're done here. You want to move on to? You're down to do some news with us, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so we've been talking about XXX Tentacion a lot and his crazy stage.
Oh, actually, I hate to backpedal. I'm sorry. I did want to ask you about. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Joe usually does.
What do you think about the state of Chicago rap these days?
Chicago rap? You know, I think we always got pioneers in Chicago. We've had a lot of different waves, and I'm excited to see and kind of waiting to see if there's a new thing in the city, different angles, you know, and then you had drill as a scene that was like everybody was biting their flow. I'm new coming out of Chicago, that's all.
Do you feel drill is like done? Because you also mentioned that you felt you were a little bit repulsed by the fact that so many people outside the culture of Chicago, they hyped up the music not knowing that real lives were being affected, deaths and other type of madness happened within the music, and the music was a real life depiction of that. Like, how did you feel about that?
I wanted to slap you in your face.
Slap you in your motherfucking face. You know? I look. Slap you in your motherfucking face. You know, I don't know why I paused right there, but I just like that part. I want to slap you in your motherfucking face, nigga. I ain't all that bullshit.
Honestly. And I'm just seeing you here, so I'm like, this is a tame environment, so I would keep it to my words, but I really felt as if people exactly like you sensationalized and made a following off of clowning situations that we go through in real life. And I think, you know, niggas ain't had no right. You know, you specifically, like, you ain't never have a right. Like, whatever made you feel like you had a space to have a perspective on our people dying on a daily basis?
Okay,
That's a joke to you?
So, when I saw drill, and you could definitely chime in, when I saw drill was so hyped up by everyone, I had to give a different perspective of what that was for people.
And that's cap. Because if you remember back in those days when he was doing the one Chirac, it was no different perspectives. He had no, this is an introspective, you know what I'm saying? I don't think this nigga even from Chicago. I think nigga from New York or something. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no fucking DJ either, but it wasn't nothing introspective. You know? It wasn't. It wasn't. It really wasn't. And it spawned a lot of the shit that's going on today. Millions of people have walked the same path of, you know, because once one fuck nigga do it, a bunch of other fuck niggas gonna try to do it too. Like, oh shit, he make this shit pop. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this shit over here. You know what I'm saying? And he's, you know, I don't know. You type of niggas. Go ahead.
People to realize that's not cool. And whether you agreed with it, right? And again, you're very close, you're involved in it. Chief Keef didn't like me, Dirk didn't like me. I mean, I think they grew to understand that the content was not just negative, right?
No, it was clowny. It was just negative, man.
No.
Like, come on, boy.
You don't think it was nothing constructive about it?
There was nothing constructive about it. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you're a bitch because.
In what sense?
Because there's a video that you put up about a person named Trey 57 making all these jokes. Oh, here's another Chirac Savage. Like, this guy's stupid. He messed with the Grim Reaper. Like, nigga, this is not a video game. That's a nigga I grew up with. I've known since I was 5 years old. And to see you come on the internet and, like, with this corny ass little voice and make jokes about it, like, you know, I was waiting to see you. And it's a couple people waiting to see you. I heard you say you didn't want to come to Chicago when I sat down, because you clearly don't, because you really couldn't even stand outside. You get chased out the mall.
Wait, I do get love in Chicago though. Like, I mean,
out the mall, DJ Academics.
I mean, truth be told, there's a mixed reaction.
You know you can't deal with that. You not. You
Wait, so you act like there's no love for me in Chicago?
No.
I wish I'd have known.
And you need to.
I wouldn't have put him in that seat. I would have sat there.
No.
When you talk about real niggas, man, from a real place, you need to watch your mouth.
I follow Vic. I follow the Chicago scene. The Chicago scene I've covered a lot. Here's where I disagree with you with, right? I understand. No. I can't say my part?
No, you can't.
Okay, no. So I disagree that it was just all clowning, right? Now, there's satire used, right? And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Warren Chirac, by the way, if you guys don't know. But I always had that positive message. Yo, y'all got to cut it out.
Satire is a form of clowning.
No. Yeah, but it's not on some, like, with no type of responsibility. Always offered
Zero
advice.
Responsibility.
Satire,
That's like
when
you
I look
sitting
up-
in your fucking.
Wait, zero responsibility when I'm offering
Yeah.
advice at times, and I'm
offering
also
advice. Who made you eligible to even weigh in? You sitting at a computer, jacking
Everybody
off,
weighs in.
fucking typing.
Wait.
typing
Everybody
about
weighs in
real,
on everything.
Talking about real life. You talking about real shit. What you know about that, bro?
No, doesn't everybody weigh in on everything?
Not in that way. You really built a following off of clowning our deaths, people that I really know. And you know what's fucked up about it and why I said the things I said to you is because were we to be in a room, there's no cameras, there's no security, you see us, you wouldn't make no jokes. You wouldn't make a single joke.
Well, first of all, I gave an outside perspective.
Would you make a joke? Would you make a joke?
A joke about what?
No,
That
you
was-
wouldn't
okay, give me a
Hey,
specific
don't
joke.
waste
No.
my camera time. He wouldn't make the joke.
You wouldn't make the
He
joke.
wouldn't make the joke.
So
Wait,
don't just
which-
be sitting like a fucking, you know, like an internet gangster.
No,
talking
I've
about
never
like making.
I don't think you understand me, truth be told. Because
Well,
I never portray myself.
well,
as
on
that.
another
And the
show,
reason I
we
say
can
that is because
understand
those are ballsy things to say that you said. Those are ballsy things to say, not coming from a ballsy person. Pause. But those are brave things to say, and I don't take you for a brave man. I really think that that's cowardice. I think that entire perspective that I'm gonna make a life off of joking about these young black men killing each other, that's coward shit, man. And you wouldn't say it
Wait,
to
wait,
nobody
hold on,
when
hold
the
on.
cameras
Let
is
me
on.
ask you a question. So you expected me to cover drill music, everything around it, but not like how do you cover that?
Who told you to make a video series? You're not even from Chicago, called The War in Chirac, where you go into the smallest details of like murders. What is that? Like that's, you know what? That's just like, that's parasitic. That's what they do to our culture from the outside, and that's exactly what you do to our culture from the outside.
And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now we're gonna move on to Exhibit B. Exhibit B. I think that clip right there is probably, in my opinion, it was very well said. It was well versed. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the first time where we actually saw a person from these areas. That's a lot of these content creators, you know, that they just, this is the motherfucking, like they turn these motherfuckers off into like superheroes, and they make them into like, you know, this is the, you know, like this the savage, and this is the guy, he got 8 or 7 bodies, he's the murderer. You know, they turn that shit into some weird shit. You know, it's like, oh my God, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it just does nothing but just does nothing. It doesn't do anything for me personally. I mean, apparently millions were entertained because that's how he got his stardom. You know what I'm saying? And that's that at that point, because that was 7 years ago. But at that point, that's where we really started to see people who didn't have a clue about the culture in these areas start to have, the fact that he's on a show shows you how much attention and validity they gave him. They paying him thousands of dollars to do that shit from what he did on the internet, which was what? You know, this is the person that people go to for information now. That nigga. Exhibit B. We're gonna keep on going. Now, I told you earlier about, sometimes, when you do step out of your realm a little bit and you make these videos, when you start delving in this street shit, don't be afraid. You might want to go with some protection depending on how deep this shit really is and what you really getting into. Don't just think because you're saying this shit on the internet that you aren't subject to confrontation. I'm not supporting it, but it's just being real with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these so-called bloggers, they ain't out here mingling with the people. They can't because, shit like this will happen to them. We're going to take a look at everybody's favorite right now, Trap Lord Ross. He got confronted by Tay Savage. It was interesting, to say the least. Let's take a look at it right now.
Motherfuckers told you stop doing this shit. Bro, like, I'm a fan, bro, at the end of the day. I'm a fan, like, I'm coming from a respectful place. Fuck all that fan shit, bro. You doing shit to get us locked up, bro. This our life you dealing with. Bro, like, all this stuff. Now, what about what fucked you up? Bro, like, that stuff is already out there, right? Like, I'm just finding the information, bro, and just putting it together, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan at the end of the day, bro. I'm a fan of your shit. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not disrespect. We're not promoting FOS fucking sound, bro. Don't say nothing about it. Bro, keep us out your shit. If you're not promoting, don't talk about no fucking version, none of that yeah, shit. I'm a fan of this shit. But you're gonna be victim, what I'm telling you, bro. Don't do no shit like that, bro. Keep FOS out your shit. You're not promoting our song. Me, Boogie, and G, and one of us, bro, don't put us in no shit. For real, bro. I'm trying to push what you were doing, bro. I'm a fan.
I think he robbed that nigga too. Now that's fucked up. That's a little too far. He had to rob buddy like that. But that's the divide, right? Because some will say Trap Lord Ross was in the wrong. Some will say that Tay Savage was in the wrong. He definitely was at the wrong when he asked for the nigga watch. That's you know what I'm saying? But as far as who is to blame when if you're rapping about all these things and then somebody blogs about it, like who's to blame in that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a conversation that we have to have, Who's to blame in that? If you're gonna rap about doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's the conversation that I think the culture the hip hop culture is having off within itself in the public and behind the scenes. I think that's the conversation that sits at the top, in my opinion, that should be talked about more and more. Who's to blame? You know what I'm saying? It's all a part of the chain, but who's to blame? Where does it start? That's enough of that right there. I didn't think he robbed me. I think he did rob me. He asked me for a watch. Crazy work. Also, we're going to, let's see. I think we're gonna cut that one down. Then we got one more. We got Leor Cohen. At this point, everybody should know who Leor Cohen is, and he is going to explain to you why he promotes drug culture and death culture in hip hop. I think he makes it very simple. I think he's over YouTube Music now, which is alarming.
Really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
But being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent.
Whoa. He got a little spicy. You know what I'm saying? He got a little, I already answered that. Hey, hello, man.
And I said talent.
Whoa.
But I asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. To that question. You weren't paying attention. Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention.
Damn. You know what I'm saying? God damn. You know, which is, you know, probably, and all the questions, all the shit that Charlamagne done did, like this interview right here is probably this spot right here is probably one of the most important, because you would think the answer is complex, but it's really not.
She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to, I can't give up on people.
I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed.
I got people to feed. That's the answer. It's as simple as that. It's not no signs, no. I got people to feed. And because I got people to feed, I'm going to keep fueling all this shit. If I know little buddy over here got a drug problem, I ain't going to help him get his drug problem, fix his drug problem. I'm going to give him some more money so he can get more drugs and have a little deeper drug problem. You know, I ain't going to help, I ain't going to say, man, we're going to get you over here, but I need you to do this for me. We need to get you cleaned up a little bit. I understand you going, you know what I'm saying? We can get you some therapy and some whatever. No. I got mouths to feed. So we need that junkie music for the junkies. You know what I'm saying? We need that good junkie music. We need you to keep going out there and tell these kids to, yeah. Simple.
Yeah. That's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash?
Who is Dame Dash?
You brought him up. I don't even know him. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of money.
Come on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know.
Matter of fact, who is Dame Dash? Hold up. Did I have something on Dame? Thought I had something over here. Let me find something. I think I found a nice little clip. Nice little clip of them. I did. Okay, here we go right there.
Know him. I really don't. So, I don't know what to tell you.
You've told us enough, goddammit. We're going to go straight to the man himself. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to waste no time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dame Dash, man. I'm giving for what nobody say, goddammit. Yeah. Hold on. Copyright music, nigga. Yeah.
Your man Leo Cohen invented the 360 deal. He invented rob the artist deal and make you be corporate to get from one level to the next. And then when he gets fired or he retires or whatever happened over there, all of a sudden now he's all independent. But when I was independent, and I was saying that 5 years ago, everybody said I was nuts. He was the main guy telling people, don't listen to Dame. He don't think I was hearing about everything he was telling people. And that's why I be getting at him openly. He's a culture robber. That's what I be referring to. Leo is corny. He's whack juice. And whoever's with him looks weak. So I suggest you don't. I would never mess with Leo. It makes me look like I ain't got no backbone. Because he don't care. He don't care nothing about the culture. It's all about the money. Why is it a man that robs our culture can't get no money in his own? That's what I don't understand. And I'm not scared of him. I think he's a joke. You know what I'm saying? I want the world to know that he's no mas. He's no bueno. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you right now, stay clear of Leo. He will rob you. He will ruin you for the money. And when you're with him, you look like a slave, because that's how he looks at you. Trust me on that.
Before they play some no copyright music, man. As simple as that. Shout out to Dame, man. Simple as that. Now, as I close this thing out, some of y'all probably like, Trip here, man, he done told us, he done stuttered and sputtered your way through the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got you. You know what I'm saying? But how? But we see you presenting the problem. Like, we see you with the problem, but what's the solution? Like, what good is identifying a problem if you don't have a solution? And I got a few things. You know what I'm saying? You know me, I'm gonna do the whole work. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my homework. You know, hip hop can reclaim its story. Number one, in my opinion, by supporting real hip hop journalism. You know, follow platforms that respect the culture. You know, there are a lot of independent hip hop media outlets and real music journalists, or people who are who handle hip hop very tastefully. They're not afraid to tackle the tough topics, and they're not afraid to get down in there, and they're gonna really get the science and get the information to you, and really just put it right there in front of you. So, share more content that uplifts artists before tragedy strikes. I'm not no fool. I told y'all where I'm coming from South Dallas, Texas. I'm from Dallas, Texas. It is what it is. You know, we just right now, hip hop has its eyes on the area with the Lil Ronnie and the Mo3 and shit like that, right? And a few of the drill artists or whatever. So I'm not stupid. I understand, like, a lot of this street shit is eventually, you know, going to end. A lot of this shit, it won't end. I'm not one of the ones that say, how can we stop? You're never gonna stop none of this shit, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate part. But we can do something to make it better, though. We can, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can try to curb off some of this shit just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to make some of this progress. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guys who are dedicated to that. You know, like I said, share more positive content that uplifts artists before tragedy strikes. You know, stop supporting clout chasers. That's something else y'all could do. Stop supporting them clout chasers. You know, if a content creator, you know, they only post content when an artist dies, motherfucking subscribe. You know what I'm saying? In fact, like, I don't have no problem with anybody running through my videos. My original page was about mental health. I always made sure I tried to apply the same methods I did when I was writing essays in high school and college about citing the sources. I'm gonna make sure I always cite my sources and give you the links to where I got you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that to you. Hold people who say we care about the culture, we care about this, hold them accountable. Ask them questions. You know, I dealt with mental health a whole lot, so I couldn't get out there and be phony with that. I had to kind of give up a piece of what I've been through in my experiences to help somebody else out through whatever they're going through. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I don't try to be. I never portray myself to be. But I'm gonna tell you what I've been through and what helped me out. And hopefully that reaches out to somebody. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm always cite my sources. I'm always tell you where you can find this at and where you can find that at. I'm always fact check myself. You know what I'm saying? And if I ever slip up and one of y'all say, man, this is so and so whatever, I don't have no ego about it. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you, because it ain't about me. It's about we. This is us. This is our shit. Like, this ain't no solo shit. Like, as a content creator, one thing I do understand is I ain't shit without the people. Half many people. Right now, it's say 5. One day it might be 500. One day it might be 5,000. One day it might be 5 million. But it's always a we thing, ain't just a me thing. I'm just here to, you know, do what I do. I love it. I've done it. You know, come on, man. I just love it. I just love having the privilege to actually say something that means something. Now, there are times where, you know, I get on my other shit where I like strange news and shit like that too. On the lighter side, but when it comes to shit that's serious, I'm always handling the work first. You know what I'm saying? And I always encourage everybody, if you have a platform that deals with serious things or you want to get more introspective, you ain't gotta be the best speaker. If you can hear, listen to me for this long, you can tell that I have a slight stutter. I stutter. You know what I'm saying? I stutter. I don't pronounce some words correctly. You ain't gotta be perfect to get on this shit and talk that shit. Just get on here and crank that shit up and go. You know what I'm saying? In fact, you might find somebody that really relates to you more because you're not all perfect and you're not trying to be perfect and you're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never, I don't fuck with perfect people. Everybody that I fuck with is flawed, but work every day to get better. You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with nobody that just think they perfect. You know what I'm saying? Boy, we all have our flaws. But if you ain't trying to, you know, make your weaknesses your strength, I don't want no parts of you. I don't want no parts around you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're around people who, you know, don't fuck with you in those moments, like, it's easy to have people around you when you up and when you know what I'm saying? But what about them folks, you know, like how they react to you when you're not feeling your best? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they respect you? Do they respect your mind and respect your space when you're going through something? You know, are they the ones that say, man, you all right? Trying to check in on you. Make sure you know what I'm saying, nigga, blink, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Loved ones, you know, shit like that. You have to, that's the approach I take with this shit as well. You know what I'm saying? So stop supporting them fuck niggas. Simple as that. You know, fact check them, run them down. You know what I'm saying? Ask them questions. And what you'll find out is once you start asking some of these motherfucker questions, they'll get mad with you just like Lear Cohen did. When Charlamagne asked that question, I already told you. I already told you that. Yeah, shit got real. Yeah, shit got real. Now you gotta, scramble. It's scramble drill now. You ain't gotta roll out the pocket and find, you know what I'm saying? You gotta figure it out now. You know? So, most definitely. So, don't engage in clickbait and conspiracy-driven content, you know? I understand that, you know, this is a large part, and it might be hard. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you, say I gotta look at some of this shit, because some of this shit be too good to be true, and I really wanna, I just really wanna see who these people are that make these pages, and who are they? Like, what's they, you know what I'm saying? Like, who, and what, and, you know, who are you? You know, who the fuck are you? Like Big Minister told old boy, yeah, I want to slap the shit out you. I want to see who you were. You talking about you got love, boy, you get round them all. Get ran down. They seen Trap Lord Ross, and he had the chili bowl cut. Trap Lord Ross had the chili bowl cut. They ran down on him. Yeah, say what we got to say, and took that nigga watch. He over there playing Gallagher and got shoulder tap. You think he's just gonna be in the arcade and be chilling and shit? Oh, nah, nigga. You travel, you better get some security. You don't call niggas savages, serial killers, everything like that. Everything the authorities. He probably one of the top pages, the authorities. Watch him, Vlad, Adam 22, 1090 Jake, and the rest of you niggas. You know, the rest of y'all to be right there. If you walk into the any police force out in America, and you tap into it, and you check their YouTube account, we're gonna see what their history is. It's gonna be y'all. I guarantee you. So, although sometimes they do have compelling content, but there are times more than not that they're gonna do some bullshit and say some bullshit. And these smaller, lower tier content creators are going to do anything to get that type of acknowledgement, and they're going to do worse shit and say worse shit. For a long time, they just said the goddamn Tupac was in Cuba, some motherfucking word, or Cozumel, Mexico. You know, I've heard content creators, you know, it just never ends. You know what I'm saying? It never ends, and they keep you going, they keep you hooked, and they want your pockets. They're gonna run your pockets digitally. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. Excuse me. Had to goddamn burp a little bit. Had some steak and eggs this morning. That shit was fire. Anyway, what can we do? No, well, what can we do? Report the content that spreads misinformation or mocks the dead. Now, I'm not one to be a tattletale, but if you do see some shit, say some shit, because there are humans involved. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But I know a few of y'all don't feel a certain way about doing that. But for the sake of, if it was you and your family and somebody was spreading some false narratives about who you are and how you got down and your family, and somebody off in your family was dead and all that, you gonna get on that motherfucking ass. So treat it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And also, like I said before, matter of fact, let's change the music. This is the important part of the goddamn show. We're gonna change the scenery like the niggas be doing. Hey, let's get to it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Get that soothing voice on. Oh yeah, there we go. Everybody come on down to the altar. It's the altar call. We done had church. Now it's time for the altar call. Feel free. Bring your problems to the altar. Bring them to the trio. Welcome to the church of the trio. Church of the Trio Day Saints. Come on, bring it to the altar. Now, like I said before, we want to push for accountability from these platforms. We want to push for accountability on these platforms. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We need to change how they promote content related to violence and tragedy. Pressure these platforms to demonetize this type of content. That's one of the key things. You know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers who are out here making a dollar off somebody being dead, you need your motherfucking show to tap in your ass whoop. Although I'm not condoning violence, but I'm just saying. You out here exploiting human beings for your money, especially if you ain't shutting up towards the family, towards the funeral. A lot of y'all make a lot of cash apps. My pocket watching. Send some ducats to that family. You don't make the money off of them. Shuck some ducats. Yeah. Send a little something. Hey, this is so platform. I reported on your story. I just want to give this to you as a token of, whatever. If you really about that life. If you really about it. If you really care, you'll do that. But a lot of y'all don't. I know y'all don't. A lot of y'all just want y'all little coin. You just want your little, hey, look what I'm doing. Let me get $1. Like that nigga who asked Chris for $1 on everybody hates Chris. Hey, let me hold $1. Let me get cash out. Also, you can encourage them to prioritize factual reporting over sensationalism. Make them motherfuckers state facts. Fact check up. Run them down through a fact gauntlet. A lot of y'all ever seen football spring practices or practices? You ever see the running back? It's like a machine they run through. It's supposed to simulate arms, and they run through it and they cover up the ball. Just pretend their platform is the running back and the ball is the product. You are the arms. Run them down through the gauntlet. Where is your sources? Where are your sources from, sir? Enough of the he say, he say, she say. Enough of the he say, she say. Alright, enough of that shit. Where are your sources? State your sources. If you can't state your sources, I'm some motherfucking subscribe. Now, also, the artist must own their own stories. I talked about this in part 1 about how black trauma and black drama is $1 billion business, and it's always been like that for years. It's more profitable to help. That little old, that little lane that they had a goddamn new slave movie every 12 months, every 6 months. They had a movie about niggas being slaves. Oh, or they made us be slaves. You know what I'm saying? And they had one slave movie that the slave, you know, rebelled back and started whooping ass. They was like, oh, this movie ain't good enough. Shout out to Jamie Foxx. Shout out to St. Eric Bishop in Texas. Shout out to Jamie Foxx. That's the stage name. You know, shout out to Jamie Foxx. Whooping ass. You know, we had that movie with the other guy. Not Turner shit. It's a bad movie. Why is it bad? Because the slave get up and whoops some ass? Yeah. It ain't us. They get really like beat on. Get chopped out. Shit like that. And I also remember the last time that even in a deeper tone, like my pops is 81 years old. He was starting 8 decades as a black rare air, 4,000 plus weeks as a black man. And so a lot of this game, a lot of my tools, like what they used to always say, still say in every conversation, that our pain has always been there to entertain. Remember, they used to hang us on motherfucking trees and watch us eat snacks and shit. Watch us hang and die. They'll get dressed up, crease their khakis, come on down to the tree. We're gonna hang some niggas. We're gonna hang some niggas. We're gonna hang some niggas today. So that's how deep this shit is for me personally, because I don't see it any different, in my opinion. It's still us dying. You know, it's still us dying. It's still the same shit. Line up. They just slide the chat roll. And just like that. You have the ones that just go look like us, that ain't really focused. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck is with that? And now they famous. And they got platforms with millions of people who are on that same sick shit. Same shit. Same shit. So that's where my mind goes with some of these things, is that at least literally the same way they do now when you see a video of here's how so and so died or got shot. You see them when they show this shit on a loop over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Zoom in over and over and over again. Zoom in, analyze it. Y'all niggas get that. And you analyze it over and over and over again, and then to this point where you desensitize that shit and you forget that these are real human beings. Same shit, in my opinion. That's where I go with it. It's hard for me to watch people who do like me die. You know, that's it. I can only watch. You don't even be trying to see this. It just be on your phone. It just be a part of the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to see when they first dropped that video out, and it was kind of fuzzy. I didn't, you know. It is. I think sometimes, depending on what you watched before, and I said, we all do this shit. So I ain't trying to say I'm better than nobody else. I did. I think there's a reason why that shit, obviously that shit more than you can't tell me there's not a reason why we see us dying. Not even pretty sure. Somebody folk dies. You know, I'm pretty sure it's everybody died. Everybody like this shit inevitable. Started getting on film and proceeded to the way it's like a movie. It's like cinema in a sense, where it's just like, oh my god, see that happen? That shit look like a movie. You know? But most rappers should create their own media platform to sell their own stories. No rapper should keep the problem. I don't think that's a problem with journalists. If they're writing this kind of like sports guys that are taking control in their respective genres. Why? Stephen A. Smith said that he was going to swing on the Brown. How are you going to swing on the Brown? First of all, you didn't get your ass. Second of all, it's like, why were you going to swing? Also, how you feel about whatever. Why would you, you know? And so these, you know, everything over the past few years, they have control back. You know what I'm saying? I'm a journalist. They have been able to withstand, you know, the fleet of athletes controlling their own narrative. They still stand tall. They never seen the athletes as a threat. See the past two games. And then give them that. All of them don't speak, you know, professionally, right? They have degrees or something like that, but they know the game. So I think there is a part of culture that needs to have people of the culture that can commentate culture. You have experience. I said, you gotta be a straight nigga. I said, you gotta do anything like that. But if you ain't gonna, you know, take it upon yourself to really just get down all the way through there, you gotta shut the fuck up. And to conclude this, you know, stop feeding the vultures. So, yeah, you know, the exploitation of hip hop artists didn't start with digital content created, but they have perfected the art of profit out fame. The industry profits out artists while they're alive. Content creators feast on them when they're gone. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I'm gonna go next on point 3. It's that aspect right there, how the industry profits off the artists while they're alive, and content creators and the industry feast off of them while they're gone. So it's a never-ending cycle. And a lot of the time, these rappers, you may have never known how many times have we seen a rapper live, never ever known. You don't have no clue who he is, where he comes from, and if he passes away, I would say, you know, with music, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would say we get pretty information. Like, it's that strange that you see when an artist dies. You know, this artist, he may not have philosophy, but he has philosophy. Whenever people believe that's the way, nowadays you don't get used to that. And you know, it's the Lord. You know, now it's going to be a fight for what's left. This is it right now. That's popular. These are like wow. And I might video just that fucking wow, how so shit, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We start watching how he states someone hasn't made out the first season of the career, but just how some of these people how their family are fighting up for scraps. It's sad. It's sad. It really is. Like, it really sucks. I just be sitting there thinking like, it makes you feel like, well, I have all my shit to put, like, I got life insurance, dude. Like, even with this shit, constant creation, like if I die, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to get my shit straight. I'm having to get it straight. I'm having to learn about all this good shit. I passed away, and just say this business becomes something. I don't even try to talk about this besides I don't want nobody to talk about this. Sign out also to my IMD, get up, every day, shit, making, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this to be somebody that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's, it's content. Like music, art, anything, it's content. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where my mind kind of goes. You know? Tragedy is, like I said before, it's a business model. And as long as people keep clicking, keep sharing, and keep watching, it never stop. But hip hop as a culture, is bigger than the people. It's bigger than controversy. It's bigger than just viral moments of somebody passing away. It's bigger than viral moments of Trump. The real fans and the real supporters have a choice, and they also have a voice. And keep feeding the voices and let hip hop be defined by tragedy. Or you can take control of the narrative and be made better as a fan. That's the uncontrollable prayer. Now this shit stuff. Everything is fighting for different, right? Everybody's up for fight for time, right? That's why sites like YouTube all the time. So watch that. So probably about something that you can't get back. So you can't get sick that, but you can a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? That's time. I would use like bullshit. I make sure it's not about I can balance that shit out. Real shit. You really can do that. Just come in, they spend on their motherfucking shit. Just looking at shit. They goofy and looking head on. You know what I'm saying? They get out there and fight them tigers sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We just be entertainment, but because we need them. You know. I said before, us real friends, have a choice. Or be defined by tragedy, or take control of the narrative and make it better. Because at this point, Hip hop doesn't protect itself. Someone else. Someone else. I think we should be out. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere. It's in history. To the point where we even made struggle sound fine. You know what I'm saying? We even made just look up in the sky. And look at the music right now. Just breathe. All the time. It's real stuff happening. Just think about all the bullshit. Every time they put some bullshit in front of us, we don't have shit. Crack. Every time. We don't make this some of the worst places out there and across the world too. We don't position some of the most fucked up crevices, cracks, spots, areas out in the world, sectioned off and sanctioned out, red line and all that shit. But boy, we done found that shit. For some reason, somehow, we don't find somebody gonna block it out. You ever seen the way that he was playing by Loki and Woodburn? Stop that. Only he was growing up in some spot. Can you imagine if I do this spot? What's up, anything? You know, so take that and you're able to made it out. You know what I'm saying? See somebody see. That shit is alright. Alright. People are trying to do some shit out here. You on your path. You on your path, you're gonna find some advice. Alright. You're gonna find yourself by yourself because people don't see the good. Some people are just fine where the fuck they are. That's the fucked up part. That's what you gotta realize. Some people are just fine where the fuck they are. You have it. You know what I'm saying? You got to want to try their best to create something and make a change. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to King Wilson. Shout out to art. Shout out to all that are doing something. You know, really trying to make a way. Really trying to shot. Really good. She had a good shit. what I'm saying? Like it's just the act of trying to push the culture forward. Everybody, you know, you gotta take this shit. You gotta take it back. That's what we do. We have a time. That is hard. Tube signs. Get that shit. Find out ways to make that shit crack. And keep going. Don't be long. Trust me. I put out some dope videos. The fucked up thing about it. Sometimes you gotta get that delusion. I don't put out some of this, some of this shit. Got everything. It worked. Episode. That's a determinant. So, still the shop. It's a fire. It's a bad. That's what I said. It's a stop shop. Out. Get it done. And made a way. You know how you feel? We can go. Like, man, but maybe that. I know I don't have time. Test this. What the first stuff? Boy, like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just really have to live this far. Live this shit. You know how you might have got it wrong to get it, but you got it eventually. If you didn't get it then, now you're able to get it now. You don't work your way up to get it now. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I get out of this shit. Like, it's a bad I do. So I know some people right now that probably wish I would quit a long time ago. You'd be surprised how many niggas out of yeah. I know you must be looking for them. I know they don't, because when I first started thinking about this shit, I first looked something outside. I can feel it. It's like, you know, you have to sacrifice to get how you feel. You know that? After that, what's going on? What the fuck you at first, he had a doubt, like, I started. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just, something like this. You study, now what's wrong? How you speak, don't speak that. You know what I'm saying? You speak on your craft, or is the message. What? This hip hop shit goes on. She's right now. You don't really have to focus. That's my word. Sound crux. What the fuck is happening? Like this. Oh my God. That's it. I just be strong. Come on, God, you know, I ain't gonna walk myself. Lock the doors and nobody get them. Oh, there's one that's right in the middle too. I got you. One of one furniture restoration. Also has a detail at the bottom that if you need a mob or your put on that little corner so if you can down look for something, how look for it and also, you also I was one. Children. Any questions? Inquiry. I'll go. I appreciate that. So,